Hi guys, it's Sherry. Today we are going to be creating something similar to this. This was my practice piece, so now I know what exactly I want to do and how I want to change this, but this is going to be something similar to what we will be creating. I am going to be using my two cutters that I just received from the Create Along March box, along with some yellow faux gems. They're the heat seal ones. We got our micro beads. I have my fuchsia primo clay, and then I also have my white glitter clay with some yellow. And there's some other things that you're going to need along the way, but as you follow along, you'll see exactly what we are going to need. So first, I want to take my fuchsia and my white, and I am going to blend these together. So I just took half a brick, and then I am actually going to cut that half in half. And then I took the same amount in my glitter clay, and then I'm just going to bunch that right into here. And then I'm going to mush these together, okay? And we are going to end up blending these all together in the pasta machine to make a beautiful blend. So I always like to start out by rolling my clay as thin as I can, so it's less strain on my actual machine. Okay, so now I'm going to run this through my pasta machine long ways, and then I'll fold it, run it through again until everything is blended. And this is about the size you're going to want to keep your clay at. So if you have your machine, put your hand there and it'll kind of stop it from spreading out. If it spreads out a little bit, you're okay. Just try to keep it as close as possible to this. All right, so that is the first run. I just want to show you quick, and then you'll see I'm going to fold it. And this is on my number 3 of my pasta machine. So mine is the Atlas 180, so it starts from 0, and then it goes down to 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9. So go to this thickness about right there, okay? And then just continue to run it through. Okay, so this is exactly what I am looking for. So you'll see how it's staying white in the middle, and then it slowly starts blending into the fuchsia. And then this is like more of a pink, and this is more like purple. So that this is exactly what I'm looking for, because then it gives my my flower like a blend of colors. I hope that makes sense. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to run this on my 3rd thinnest setting, and I don't even need that much. I'm not going to use that anyway. So I'm going to run this out onto my 3rd thinnest setting, because you want this pretty thin. Okay, so you'll see how skinny that is. All right, and then get your saran wrap, and let me move this over down. All right. And you'll see I have all kinds of little speckles in there. I need to clean my pasta machine, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to use that area. All right, so next I took one of these little hole punchers, all right, and then I just took my pliers. Where are my little pliers? Right here. And I squeezed the end together to give me a little teardrop shape. I needed something that was going to be really tiny. You see how big these are? I wanted something much, much smaller. So take the small, like one of your smaller, here, I'll show you. Excuse me. So this is exactly the same. You see how it was round? And I hope you could see this on the camera. And then I made it into, I just pinched one side. So get the green one and just pinch that side, and that'll give you the size that you need. And then we are going to punch out a bunch of these. And the reason you want them small is because we are going to push these into the clay, and they're going to spread a little bit. So this is the original size I used. Let me see, right here. Oops. That's the original size. So you see how it ended up spreading out? So that was just way, way too big. I want something that's much, much smaller, and it's going to give me more of that beautiful flower speckle look. And the reason I use the saran wrap is, even though it's down on my tile, these little clay pieces sometimes get stuck into your little tool, or they just don't come out very well, and it's a pain. So I like to use my saran wrap. That's my little trick to keep my pieces where I want them, and not in my tool, because that is not where I want them. So let me see how many of these I think I'm going to be able to create. I would like to get the whole thing, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Maybe if I, no. All right, you know what? I'm going to roll this out one time, just one size smaller. That way I get a little bit extra length. All right. So now I had this initially run out onto my number 3. I put it down to the number 4. This way I could get more flowers out of this deal. And please excuse my light. I don't know why my ceiling light is one of those really long ones, and it just keeps turning on and off. And I think I need a new bulb, and I'm going to have to get my husband to do that, because truthfully, I don't even know what I'm looking for. All I know, it's a long bulb. So it'll pop back on. So I'm so sorry if the light is not as bright right this second. Okay, let's see how many of these we got. So now comes like the tedious part of this. Just all right, put that off to the side, and you can see it didn't stick to the mat as well as I was hoping, so we had to do it a little bit more the difficult way. All right, so I like to get my little dental tool here, and I am just going to start placing these all around. You're going to fill up this whole section here. Don't worry about getting the top part or the bottom section. You just want the section that your cutters are going to be going on, okay? And you'll see that I'm going to put them facing all different directions. I am not going to keep them all facing the same direction, because flowers are not always the same direction. Okay, so I'm going to fill this all up, and then I'll turn the camera back on so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this forever. All right, so my piece is completely filled with my little yellow pieces. And our next step is to get my deli paper. And then I want to take my little metal tool here and just start burnishing it. You could use a lid, you could use your hand, rolling pin, whatever you have handy. I saw a lady, she has her channel called Made by Melly, and she actually does this a lot, uses this, and I thought that was really cool because I have that on hand, and I never thought about using it to burnish things. All I ever did was put my jewelry on there and bake it, but I thought this would be much, much quicker, and thought it was a fantastic idea. So now you can see how beautiful those pieces are in there. So next we just want to kind of look and make sure we have enough space in there that each one of our pieces will be completely filled with different yellow pieces. Now here I want to make sure. So I just want to kind of go back and forth and make sure I have plenty of room for each one of my cutters, and I do. Okay. Next, I'm actually going to put a back on this right away, because with these cutters, you need to have a certain thickness, and this is not going to give me the impression that I want. And I'll show you up at the top. Gives me a slight impression, but I want a little deeper. So I am going to take some of my, let me see, what color do I want to put on the back of this that would look really neat? I almost want to do my white. I think I'm going to do white and see. So I just need a thin layer. I don't need a lot because this is already pretty thick. So I'm going to run this through my pasta machine. All right, let me see. Is that going to be wide enough? I need a little bit more. Basically, what I am trying to do right now is just make sure that my yellow spots are going to be completely covered, because I know that is where my cutters are going to go. So I am going to take my blade and I'm going to cut off the extra here, because I know my cutter will not go there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I just want to get that pink clay up. My desk is such a mess right now. And then I will lay this right on top. And then I'm just going to burnish it down one more time just to make sure that both pieces of clay are stuck there nicely. All right. Now, I am going to use saran wrap on this. And the reason I'm going to use saran wrap is because that is a detail cutter. And anytime I have detail cutters, I like to use saran wrap to help prevent my clay sticking into, my clay sticking into my cutters. So I'm just going to lay that out. And then once again, find exactly where I want to cut it. And I want to make sure I'm getting as many of those little yellow dots, because that is what is going to bring out my piece. I love this. Gosh, I really do love this. Beautiful. All right, so then I'm going to just cut out a couple little circles. And these will be the top of my earrings. And I'm going to lift this up. Look how beautiful these are. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Look how beautiful. Are these not fabulous? And backs are beautiful. They're going to be nice and sparkly with the glitter. Oops. So next, I just want to make sure I'm smoothing out my edges, because I don't want to have to sand this after it's baked. So I will take the time to smooth everything out, especially these little inserts here, like the edges that are, you're never going to get a little sander or file or anything in there. So make sure you're taking your little tool and smoothing it out. Your pieces, to sell them or really to show them off, should be finished off beautifully. Don't cut corners if you don't have to. I'm always about making things quickly yet beautiful and the right way. Look at that. So very, very pretty. All right. All right. Next, we're going to get our yellow heat seal gems here. Have my wax tip here. And then these ones I am going to stick right on. You'll see there's like little marks here on the flower. So I'm going to stick those right there. Make sure they're, and I'm not pressing them down until the end because I want to make sure that they're on there straight. I'm actually creating these particular ones to sell at a salon, and I think they are going to do wonderful now that spring is here and summer is right around the corner. I think these are going to sell like crazy. So now this is where I'm going to push them in. And I'm not pushing them in too far, just making them nice and even there. Or level, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm going to make them nice and level. All right, so for the middle here, I'm going to get my ball tool. And I'm just going to grab any ball tool and I'm going to push this section down here. I'm going to kind of make a little divot. And it's not going to be a deep one, just a little one. And then I have my liquid Sculpey in here. And the reason I put it in here is because it's easier to mix and make sure everything's combined. I already mixed it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. And then I'm just going to take my ball tool and just kind of start putting a little bit there. And I don't need it super deep. I just need a little bit on there. And that's going to help hold my little micro beads. And then it'll dry nice and clear. And then my little micro beads. I'm going to take the tip of my silicone. I'm just going to get it a little bit wet with the liquid Sculpey. And that'll help me be able to get my little beads. My beads will just hold right onto that. And you could choose gold. I just did silver just because I wanted to kind of offset it a bit. And these beads are going to stick right to that liquid clay. And then the liquid clay will seal it onto your piece. Okay. And that is what you have. So very cute. This one we are going to do some gold ones. And this is going to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to take a little bit more time because you have to be a little bit careful with it. So I'm going to take my liquid Sculpey and then I'm going to put it in each one of these little lines here. And I'm doing gold on this one because I don't have the gemstones all around it. So I just wanted to kind of blend it nice with the yellow and the pink. I like making each one of my pieces different. All my glue is in, so now I'm going to get my micro beads here and very carefully start putting my micro beads in these little areas. And I don't need to fill it up completely. I just want little ones here and there. Because when it dries up or bakes, you'll see all these little sparkles all over in this crevice. But you don't have to fill it up completely, just a little here and there. So you see how easy I'm able to turn it without actually having to pick my clay up. That having a tile is so awesome. So if you don't have a tile, I really recommend getting one. Home Depot, Lowe's, any hardware store like that will have these, and it just makes it so much easier to move your pieces around. So you see how I have it on here, and I could just spin it as I need to. So very, very useful. Oh my goodness, look how gorgeous this looks. I'm telling you guys, definitely get this cutter, because this is just one idea that I have for this cutter. I mean, I know I'm going to make a bunch of different things for this. Absolutely beautiful. I love this. So then I am going to do one gemstone right in the middle. Make sure that's in the actual middle. And I am actually going to take a little more of my liquid clay here. I'm going to put it around. Just spread it around. And like I say, you don't need a lot of it. Right around that stone. Don't touch the stone if you don't have to. I am actually just going to put a little bit more of my gold beads real close to that gemstone, because I think that's going to finish it off real nice. Let me spread that liquid clay, and then I'm just going to put just a few. So these are two styles. Look how beautiful. I love these. I absolutely love these. I think these are fabulous. So the last thing I want to do is put my holds in for my jump rings. I'm going to use my smaller one. I'm going to use my brown one. If you have clay stuck in there, let me get my needle out of there. Take an old wire and just push it through. And I have this laying how I want it. So I know I want my hole to go right there. It's going to be the top of my, and this one right here. I want these to be really nice, beautiful statement earrings. And these ones I'm going to do at the top of the earring. And you can tell I'm not going too close to the edge as well. And then let's go right here. You could do this after you bake it, but you know, sometimes it's just easier to do it before. And then these ones are just going to do one hole. I'm going to make these into like studs. Got a hair on this one. All right, so now this is all Primo clay. I'm gonna put this in my oven at 275 for a half hour, and then we'll come back and we will finish these up. Look at these. Look how gorgeous these came out. How fabulous are these? I absolutely love how these came out. Then went the long ways because I really wanted these to be like a bigger earring. You can go right in the middle of these if you want them smaller, but I really wanted them to really stick out and show because they're just too gorgeous not to. I did sand, oops, I did sand the back of these. So to sand them, all I am doing is getting my nail file, and then it's easier to do on the edge of my table, but I'm just rubbing it back and forth. So on the edge of my table where I have more room, that's where I'm actually doing it. And the only reason I'm sanding it is because it actually takes off the little bit of shininess. So you'll see it's not, I have a little bit here and here, so I'm going to finish sanding that little section down. So another thing I want to show you is this is more flat. Now this one, you see how it's more bubbled out? If you want this look, which is absolutely gorgeous, I love this look, but I really wanted to stick with a flatter design, all you do is add extra clay. That is all I did. I basically doubled the thickness of this one to make this. So there are two different options. You could do the same technique, just make the clay thicker, and then you'll get this gorgeous bubbled out look. All right, so now all my shininess is gone. The next step is I want to put a back onto these. All right, so my post, these ones, I am actually going to use my fish hook findings to make them a little bit longer. But these particular ones, because they are so long to begin with, I wanted to just use a post on there. So if you want to do post on both of these, just put one hole. If you want to do a fish hook, you need two holes there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to get two posts. And my super glue. And I want to make sure that I am putting my post exactly where I want it to hang on my ear. So I'm just going to put a small drop of super glue, and then I'm going to take my post, set it on there, and this is to assure me that my post will stay exactly where I want it so I can finish it off beautifully. All right, and then let me grab some of my white clay. Where's my white clay? I want my, right here. All right, I am going to roll this out to, I'm going to say, my third thinnest setting. So you can see it's really thin. You do not need a thick layer of this. Next, you're going to want to get some kind of cutter or circle that is going to be a little bit bigger than your actual post. So this should be perfectly fine. I'm actually going to lay this on my tile. This way, when I push down, it stays on my tile. So get two circles. I got a little bit of my clay adhesive. Just going to put a small amount on there. And then I'll just take my silicone tool, and I'm going to go around that. All right, so I'm just going to go over my piece here with the clay adhesive. And this will make sure that my clay sticks down real nice. And then let me get my blade, pick these up. And this is one of the reasons I like to super glue my pieces, is now I could take that, go right in the middle, and then push down. Get my silicone tool, push it down all the way. And you could do this before you bake it or after. It'll be like the same concept. I almost prefer to do it after it's baked, because then I can really handle it, spread my clay, and know I'm not going to ruin the front part of it. So at this point, all I'm doing is taking my clay and I'm smoothing it out so it becomes one with the back of my earring. So it looks like it's one piece of clay, and you don't have it looking like you set that on there. So I just rub my finger and smooth it out. That's it. So very, very simple. Let's try that one more time. Oops. Right in the middle. Push it down. I like to use my silicone tool to help push down. And then I will use my finger for the rest of it. You just blend it right in. By doing this, you're assuring your piece, the post, will never come off, because now it's going to be in your clay. It's going to be covered up, and you can't pull it off. It won't break off. You don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, so now I will stick this back in my oven for a half hour. Okay, so my pieces are out of the oven, and now you can see how they are completely encased in that clay, and there is no way that is coming off. So you know that your piece is 100% secure. So the next thing you're going to do is get 2 pairs of pliers, your jump ring, make sure you open it wide enough. Just slip them together here. There we go. And grab one end, the other end, and then get them side by side. If you have problems closing your jump ring, just twist it back and forth, and then it just kind of naturally will fall into place straight for you. The next thing I want to make sure is that my earring has movement. I don't like my earrings not to have movement. Sometimes people put them so tight that they just don't move. So you want to make sure you have movement. We do not need to put any sealer on this. It is, the liquid clay will hold all your little beads in here. That one is heat sealed, and the rest is all clay. But I want you to take a really close look at this. Can you see all the little sparkles in there from that white clay, that glitter clay? It just really finished it off so beautifully. Make sure got my movement. These are so beautiful. I really like these a lot. I think I may end up keeping these for me. And make sure I have movement. These ones are a little looser. I love these. All right, so then next with these ones is basically the same concept, except we're going to add one extra jump ring. What I like to do with my fish hooks is take the bottom loop, turn it very carefully, and then you don't have to add an extra jump ring. If you don't want to do that, just add an extra jump ring. And then close it all the way. So pretty. Make sure the part that goes inside your ear is facing the back of the earring. And there you go. There are 2 pairs of beautiful earrings. I really hope that you guys enjoy creating these pieces with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye.